Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where we bring you the latest and most intense updates about Sheikh Hamdan and his family. If you are new here and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe now and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss any important update. In my last video, I used to think I'd do anything for love, but for you, I'll do everything. I didn't know she was married. I didn't know she was married when she smiled at me the first time. It was an ordinary afternoon, the kind the world forgets, but my heart remembers in slow motion. The light touched her face like a soft promise, and something inside me shifted without warning. She didn't look like someone carrying another life behind her eyes. She looked free, calm, present, as if the moment belonged only to us. We spoke casually at first, harmless words drifting between two strangers, pretending not to notice the electricity growing in the silence. Her voice carried warmth, not flirtation, not distance, just a gentle honesty that invited trust. I found myself waiting for her words, leaning into her laughter, memorizing the way her eyes softened when she spoke about simple things. It felt natural, effortless, like two souls recognizing familiarity without understanding why. Days became conversations. Conversations became comfort. Comfort became something dangerous hope. I told myself it was innocent, that admiration is allowed, that connection doesn't always mean intention, but the heart has its own language, and mine was learning her name in every heartbeat. I imagined her presence in quiet moments. I wondered how her silence sounded. I caught myself smiling at nothing and realizing it was her memory passing through me. She never spoke of anyone else, not once. No ring, no stories of a husband, no shadow of another life crossing her words. If anything, she spoke like someone who understood loneliness, who carried a quiet ache beneath her calm strength. It made me feel closer to her. It made me want to protect that softness. And slowly, without permission, I fell. Not recklessly, not dramatically, gently. The kind of falling that feels like trust. The kind that doesn't realize the ground is disappearing until it's too late. I began to care about her happiness more than my own peace. I began to measure time by moments I might see her again. I began to imagine futures my heart had no right to imagine. Then the truth arrived without mercy. It wasn't a confession. It wasn't a warning. It was a careless sentence spoken by someone else, dropped into the air like a blade wrapped in silk. She's married. The words echoed louder than reality. Married. A simple word with the power to collapse entire inner worlds. I remember the exact second my breath changed. The way my chest tightened, the way the room suddenly felt unfamiliar, like I had stepped into a life that wasn't mine. My mind rejected it at first. Denial fought for hope. Maybe they were mistaken. Maybe it was old news. Maybe there was an explanation that would soften the impact. But there wasn't. She was married. 1,000 memories rearranged themselves instantly, changing meaning, changing color, changing weight. Every smile now carried guilt. Every moment now carried boundaries I had unknowingly crossed. Every emotion suddenly felt misplaced, uninvited, forbidden. I didn't feel anger toward her. I felt disappointment in destiny. I felt betrayed by silence. I felt foolish for letting my heart build a home on land that was never mine. When I finally faced her, I didn't accuse. I didn't demand. I didn't raise my voice. I only asked quietly, "Is it true?" Her eyes answered before her lips did. There was sadness there. There was apology. There was something unfinished that neither of us could repair. She told me she never meant for it to happen, that loneliness can blur lines, that sometimes a heart seeks understanding even when it belongs somewhere else. She said she valued our connection but had never intended harm. Intentions don't erase consequences. I realized in that moment that love is not only about what you feel, it's about what you protect. And what I needed to protect now was dignity, hers, mine, and the invisible boundaries life had revealed too late. Walking away from someone you care about without blaming them is a different kind of pain. It's quiet, heavy, lonely. There's no villain to hate, no closure to hold. Just acceptance, slowly learning how to breathe. I didn't hate her. I didn't wish her suffering. I wished her clarity. I wished her peace. I wished her honesty with herself most of all. But I also chose myself. I chose not to become a shadow in someone else's life. I chose not to live between stolen moments and silent guilt. I chose not to let a beautiful connection turn into a painful mistake. Some loves are not meant to be lived, they are meant to be understood. And sometimes the hardest lesson is learning that timing matters more than tradition met tomorrow. Love waited patiently. Stars bowed gently. Moon smiled softly. Time paused briefly. Breath held everywhere. Crowns reflected sunrise. Jewels kissed light. Marble floors gleamed. Echoes carried prayers. Hope filled air. Smiles crossed faces. Tears touched lashes. Joy rose silently. Music floated heavenward. Drums spoke destiny. Strings embraced emotions. Rhythms united souls. Crowds felt magic. Children waved flags. Elders whispered blessings. Winds carried fragrance. Flowers opened proudly. Roses honored love. Jasmine kissed pathways. Petals danced freely. Golden arches welcomed. Doors opened slowly. Royal path glowed. Steps echoed eternity. Fazza breathed deeply. Heart steady strong. Eyes calm, focused. Spirit peaceful, glowing. Memories flashed gently. Childhood dreams awakened. Promises whispered inward. Honor guided choices. Strength carried humility. Grace shaped presence. Love anchored destiny. Audience watched reverently. Silence felt sacred. Energy vibrated softly. Air shimmered golden. Light kissed crowns. Camera flashes sparkled. Moments became legends. Stories wrote themselves. Fate smiled knowingly. Hands folded prayerfully. Eyes closed briefly. Soul thanked heavens. Courage flowed inward. Peace wrapped heart. Confidence rose gracefully. Smile warmed atmosphere. Warmth spread outward. Hope ignited everywhere. Love answered silently. Steps moved forward. Future opened brightly. Dreams aligned perfectly. Faith strengthened spirit. Purpose guided motion. Crowds leaned closer. Breaths synchronized softly. Time slowed gently. World faded briefly. Only love remained. Only destiny remained. Only light remained. Only peace remained. Only truth remained. Music softened air. Hearts matched rhythm. Energy pulsed unity. Eyes shimmered wonder. Smiles mirrored joy. Tears reflected gratitude. Souls embraced destiny. Moment felt eternal. Memory etched forever. Story breathed softly. History bowed respectfully. Legends awakened again. Royal chapter opened. Golden ink flowing. Pages turned silently. Readers unseen waiting. World listening closely. Whispers crossed borders. Screens lit globally. Voices shared amazement. Hearts united worldwide. Cultures blended harmoniously. Love spoke languages. Hope crossed oceans. Dreams traveled skies. Faith strengthened humanity. Kindness echoed globally. Unity felt stronger. Peace felt nearer. Light felt warmer. Future felt brighter. Fazza walked forward. Path glowing destiny. Courage shining gently. Smile steady calm. Eyes reflecting gratitude. Hands steady poised. Spirit calm grounded. Soul peaceful, luminous. Steps confident, graceful. Presence commanding humility. Royal yet human. Strong yet gentle. Power wrapped kindness. Honor wrapped patience. Wisdom guided actions. Love anchored purpose. Crowds whispered prayers. Children dreamed kings. Young hearts inspired. Old hearts comforted. Nations watched reverently. History smiled softly. Time recorded moment. Stars blinked approval. Moon guarded blessings. Sky showered peace. Winds carried songs. Desert embraced echoes. Palace absorbed memory. Walls remembered footsteps. Lights preserved shadows. Silence kept secrets. Love kept promises. Destiny kept direction. Faith kept balance. Hope kept rising. Joy kept flowing. Peace kept growing. Future kept unfolding. Golden air shimmered. Crowds breathed reverence. Dreams floated upward. Anticipation wrapped silence. Hearts leaned forward. Eyes reflected wonder. Souls touched destiny. Hope traveled softly. Light kissed smiles. Joy warmed spirits. Faith strengthened courage. Peace steadied pulses. Love whispered patience. Time honored moments. History inhaled magic. Legends stirred gently, royal steps echoed, marble sang softly, silk brushed air.